Have you ever sat in a room, staring at nothing, feeling the slow creep of boredom, and wondered why it felt almost unbearable? We live in a world designed to keep us constantly stimulated. Notifications, videos, social media feeds, and endless entertainment seem to promise that every second must be filled. And yet, thinkers from Blaise Pascal to Martin Heidegger suggest that these empty moments, the very experiences we flee from, may be some of the most profound teachers of our lives. Boredom, Pascal argued in his Pensées, is not a trivial inconvenience. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. He wrote, "After all, what harm can sitting quietly cause?" But Pascal was pointing to something essential. In those quiet moments, we are confronted with ourselves. We meet our own thoughts, our desires, and our inner questions, and it's not always comfortable. Our minds are restless. We crave distraction because the silence forces us to confront the gaps between who we are and who we think we should be. Heidegger took this a step further in his philosophy of existential boredom. He described a type of boredom so deep that it is almost a mirror, reflecting the emptiness at the core of everyday life. This is not the fleeting irritation you feel waiting in line. This is a profound awareness that the world, in some ways, feels meaningless, and yet within that emptiness lies a chance for revelation. Heidegger argued that when we encounter this depth of boredom, we have an opportunity to see life as it really is, stripped of superficial distractions, and to confront our authentic selves. Psychologists today confirm what these philosophers intuited centuries ago. Studies show that boredom is not merely a lack of stimulation, it is an emotional signal. It tells us that our current activities are not aligned with our deeper values or desires. When we constantly avoid boredom with screens, notifications, or endless busyness, we miss the chance to listen to that signal. The result? A restless mind, surface-level engagement with life, and diminished creativity. Consider the story of a friend who once decided to take a weekend retreat with no devices, no planned activities, just silence and empty hours. At first he felt anxious, tapping his foot, checking imaginary notifications. But after a few hours, he noticed his thoughts slowing down. He began to sketch, to reflect, to write in a journal. By the end of the weekend, he had a burst of ideas for a project he had been procrastinating on for months. That weekend of nothing became fertile ground for creativity, insight, and clarity. Boredom, then, is not our enemy. It is the soil in which insight and creativity can grow. But how do we harness it without letting it spiral into despair or restlessness? There are 3 practical steps we can take. First, schedule intentional boredom. This may sound paradoxical, but allocating time to sit quietly, free from screens and planned activities, trains your mind to become comfortable with itself. Second, practice mindful observation. Instead of escaping the emptiness, notice it. Observe your thoughts, feelings, and impulses with curiosity rather than judgment. This cultivates awareness and allows us to understand our authentic desires. Third, use boredom as a springboard for creation, whether it's writing, drawing, meditating, or problem-solving. Allow your mind to channel the restlessness into productive or expressive activities. A metaphor helps to clarify this. Imagine your mind as a pond. When the water is constantly stirred with notifications, work, or entertainment, it's difficult to see the reflection of the sky above. But when the pond is still, even for a moment, the water becomes clear and the reflection emerges. That reflection is your inner self, your deeper desires, and your creative potential. Boredom is the stillness that clears the pond. It's worth noting that boredom is also a deeply existential experience. Bertrand Russell, in The Conquest of Happiness, warned that our flight from boredom often leads us to the wrong pursuits. We fill our lives with distractions that numb us rather than nurture us. In facing boredom, we confront the essential question: what matters most to us? Not what others tell us should matter, not what the world bombards us with as important, but what genuinely aligns with our inner life.